welcome back to Tonsil Hockey, the podcast where heated rivalry comes first.
And we come second.
Ayo!
Come on!
But we are talking about hunting wives because there's just not enough heated rivalry for us to talk about it every single week, although we do kind of talk about it every single week, but we will also be talking about the lesbians in Texas. Woohoo!
Yee, and I cannot stress this enough, ha.
Good for you, girl. Say it like you mean it. I love it. I have been thinking about last week's episode so much. We will get there. Olga, we're still getting emails about heated rivalry, and may they never stop.
I hope that problem never, ever, ever, ever goes away.
Would you like to read us one?
Absolutely, I would love to.
Great.
Okay. This is from Heidi on Patreon. Thank you so much. Subscribe to our Patreon. We're doing stuff there.
We're doing
all heated rivalry all the time.
All the time. We're reading the long game. Get over there.
Love the pod! Exclamation point. Thank you so much. Love you, Heidi.
Thank you, Heidi.
I've devoured the TV series and all the books. I'm now experiencing an odd phenomena whereby I read the books overlaying both the TV series actors as the characters and hearing Catherine and Olga react to particular vocab in my head. That's an engaged reader.
That's a diagnosis for schizophrenia, but we'll take it.
Case in point, recent use of the word spongy to describe the feel of a penis during a blowjob scene. Heard everyone scream about it, me included. What new meta reading experience is this?
Sorry.
Spongy is a lot, isn't it?
Spongy's grim, but I really understand. And speaking of overlaying that which you want, did you see that Rachel Reed this week said that potentially Connor and Hudson will re-record the audiobook?
Yes.
The girl knows how to breadcrumb us with everything we ever want. Even if they don't ever, I'm like, I'll send you. Let me pay now. I'd like to pay now, receive later.
That feels necessary. It also
so necessary. No offense to the readers before, but I mean, my God.
Okay, so there are. God, this is like a really roundabout, long way of saying this, but basically, you know how Taylor Swift doesn't need to do the Super Bowl now or the Glastonbury headliner slot now because that's always available to her.
Yeah.
So even if she flops,
I forget that you were educated in America, and then you say something like Glastonbury.
Glastonbury.
Yeah, sure.
So even if she flops,
yeah.
those things will always be in her back pocket. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel about them doing the audiobook. Like, they could do it now, but it's like, if their careers go to shit, they can always come back to the heated rivalry audiobook.
I think it'd be rude of them not to do it now, but I hear what you're saying. I also really like the idea of them releasing it like Connor's version. Only on vinyl. Would buy.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, they should. They should do Connor and Hudson's version only on vinyl.
Oh my God, with a secret track? With a secret track?
I would die. Something written into the vinyl. Ugh.
Yeah, if you play it backwards, it's just the sounds of them coming.
Yeah. And also if you play it forward, because that's what happens in the book. And I love both. Oh my God, okay, how exciting. Well, Heidi, thank you so much for that. Good to know that we are in your heads all of the time. Speaking of, we hope you've been doing your homework and watching Hunting Wives, you guys, y'all, because we are watching it and we're excited. I had a couple of thoughts based on the last episode.
Okay, I'm listening.
First of all, this one's called Knockin' Boots, and I just love that so much. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, first of all, obviously, I hope we find out what's up with the tampon this episode.
The main mystery. It is a mystery show. It's a crime show.
Yeah. Secondly, I was like, would I take off my dress if I had just started my period? Because I was thinking I'd be bloated. I feel.
Yeah.
But then I was like, good for you, girl. Because actually, you know what? One, with the lesbian gaze, you know that saying I'm on my period doesn't do anything to dampen the excitement. But two, she's like, fuck it. The bloating, the trade-off is worth it because when do your tits ever look better?
And they look nice.
They look nice.
Pretty.
They obviously waited for the right time in her cycle to film that. Good for them. Good for them.
Also, nipples are ever hard.
Yeah, wow.
Ever hard.
Wow,
we love a hard nip. When you sort of put
Amazing.
3 sports bras on, but you could still see the outline.
There's a scene, sorry to go back to Vladimir on Netflix, but there's a scene
starring anyone we know?
Starring Ellen Robertson, my girlfriend. Oh my God, there was a People article about us.
What? Oh my God, okay.
Sorry to go off track immediately. The People article was about her, but it basically was like Ellen Robertson, who keeps her life private and doesn't have Instagram and doesn't talk about her private life. And then it's just like me, the leak. It's like, but her girlfriend, Catherine Bohart, puts all this shit on the internet. And I was like, oh my God. It's just like a picture from my Instagram credited at Catherine Bohart. Like I'm some sort of fucking Perez Hilton.
Oh my God, like you call the paps on yourself.
Yeah. It's like, I have an Instagram. I'm not the leak. Why are you making me seem like this bitch? It's so rude.
Funny.
I only brought
We
it
need
up.
to identify the leak. Her whole team in the boardroom being like, who's the leak? And it's just a public Instagram video that you've just posted. Look at her sleeping!
Morning, baby!
We have to find out who did this!
But, so, the reason I bring up Vladimir is because I think it's episode 8 where Rachel Weisz spends the entire thing in like a sheer cream thin knit that I think is meant to be like, you know, clothing that we're like, oh, she's such a like middle-aged lit girl, but also you can fully see her nipples through the top the whole time, and it's so amazing and very distracting and worth a watch. So
oh my god, okay, huge round of applause for the wardrobe department.
Yeah, round of applause. Yes, exactly. And the snitch that is I. So back to speaking of beautiful nipples, back to Margot we go. And this time it opens with a young girl killing a boar with her dad.
Just girly things. Just
yeah.
bonding things. And they come across the body.
Well, they come across a blood-soaked Birkenstock. And that...
Wait, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so there's a blood-soaked... So they get to...
They
shoot the pig. She goes over to the pig to see the boar that she's killed. She's like, woohoo! And her dad's like, yeah, you murdered it. Woo! Texas. And they go over, and there's a blood-soaked Birkenstock on the ground. And then they follow that trail of blood to the body. By the by, sorry, crazy parenting. The dad, and this is why, sorry, dads shouldn't be allowed to take them for a day out by themselves. He just like lets her follow him over to the body. At no point when he gets to the body, he like scares off the pigs that are eating the dead body.
The dead body has been eaten by.
Because we don't want to traumatize the pigs. But at no point does he ever go look away to his freaking daughter. I was like, what the heck? This is what? Huh? It was crazy. And that was my issue with the first scene.
That's why I'm not a daddy's girl.
And it says 2 weeks later, and we're at a mega church, and it's so exciting.
I would like to say that there is no location in this world that to me is more unnerving than a mega church.
Yeah, I hear that. And especially when you're looking at an all-white congregation and a black singer, and you're like, it feels like
it's all wrong.
It's all wrong. But Margot is in the front row in a mini skirt, which I also feel like, yeehaw. Go on.
I mean, it is the silver lining. I will say, as a fan of Love is Blind, do you remember in last season, I think it's the Denver season, where the guy brought her to his mega church?
Yeah.
I honestly think that's my that's a horror film to me.
It was a horror film. The fact that people were like, I can't believe she left him, when she's like, I was wondering maybe if you could not be homophobic. Maybe I don't want to marry a homophobe.
And he was like, that's asking for too much, actually.
And he was like, give it a chance. It was crazy.
It was
not
horrific.
so bananas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes. So they are at this mega church, and quite funnily, Brittany Snow and her husband, the Blow-ins, are like, there are 2 drummers, and this is a lot of like, there's a huge display of wealth, which is also a very funny thing in churches. I always find when you're talking about like helping the neighbors or like loving their neighbor and all of that jazz, how there's like extreme wealth on show.
Yeah.
And we finally get a fucking peep at the Reverend. He exists.
Allegedly.
He looks like the CEO of an MLM, but sure.
Yeah. And what is a megachurch if not an MLM?
True that. And also, sorry, who goes to church because their boss invited them to? Fucking Graham.
There's a lot of questions. Here. And then the Reverend says that the newcomers, the first timers, should come on stage, and their little son hears that, and so he leads the way, and then all 3 of them, Sophie, Graham, and the kid, go on stage and join the Reverend. Yeah,
2 things I just do want to note, though, that I found so funny about this. Obviously, Brad is checking out Margot's legs in her skirt, and I can't even judge him for that. Usually I would, but I'd done it already myself. By the time they cut to his eyes, I was like, hello, legs, and then I was like, fair enough. I am an 18-year-old boy. God damn it. And the second thing is that the Reverend's wife has her own individual love seat at the front of the church. Did you see this? She has her like own 1-person pew where she sits at the front and is like, get it for Jesus, baby.
Does your mom not have one? Does your mom not have one? Sorry, jealous.
I was like, what in the name of it's so funny. It's just so American and so like First Lady of the Church to me. It really made me laugh.
What is your family's attitude towards American megachurches, if you don't mind my asking?
They don't really have one. I will say that we once went to Disneyland for Christmas it was
It's a mega church of sorts.
huge treat. The year before, we got it as our gift, and then we waited a year to go.
Disneyland Paris?
Disneyland Florida.
Woo!
Or Disney World, whatever one. We went. My dad was like, we're having Christmas dinner at TGI Fridays. I simply have to go to mass before that. Like, there has to be some nod to religion here, even if it's sunny. We go into this small church.
Wait, this is already my favorite story of all time.
Say,
a pre-TGI Fridays mass?
My parents say they immediately clock the door is locked after us.
Oh my God, stop.
They're like...
And it's you and your siblings.
They're like, okay, we have brought our 3 children to this small, tiny church, and so begins a pre-Vatican II semi-Latin insofar as it's in a Floridian accent, long, like we're talking 2-hour mass, done by this priest who we had to assume was related to the only other 8 people, all of whom look like his wife and children, in the front row. And my parents are holding their breath the whole time, just being like, we just have to be let out. The main thing is that we're let out. As long as we can get out, we just...
All is forgiven.
And the whole thing is sung. The whole thing's sung in Latin. Well, you know the way that priests sing where you're like, what's the tune?
Yeah.
Get the tune. And
we need a tuning
fork.
Yeah.
It's just so bad. They're like, God in heaven, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my poor parents were just like, they can have all the ribs they want if we can just get out of this fucking church.
Did they try to like sell you anything or try to get you to stay?
100%. It was very like, would you like to stay forever kind of energy.
Oh my God.
And
there's an alternative timeline where you never left.
Fair play to my parents. I didn't pick up on any of this, but apparently we were there like ordering our mud pies and they were like, we're free. Get to the airport. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, so I guess insofar as they have a relationship with one, it's like only slightly like...
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I know that wasn't a mega church, but that's our only experience
but
of
it's
American
a similar vibe,
church.
What you're describing.
Yeah. And by the way, this is like a proper mega church. Like they have big TVs at the back to see the Reverend on. And yeah, it's...
And you know what? It's like, there's no aerial hoop, but it's definitely rigged for aerial hoop.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite things is that, like, so very well leading us up to the garden path there, the Reverend's sermon is like, my wife opens our home to everyone. I will therefore open this to the newcomers. And that's when he invites the people up. And as you say, their son does what all kids do in church, which is like, my turn to go on the stage. By the way, the Reverend calls it a stage. And I was like, what the fuck American Christianity is this? Do you mean altar, sir? I was torn. I was like, it could be a bit more now. This could be a bit better. And
he called it a go-go dancing cage.
He was like, y'all want to get up on my Jesus pole? I was like, what? Sorry. And they go up and he preaches from the Bible about how...
The way that you couldn't find the word Bible. Well,
I wasn't sure. I was like, what did he preach from? But I was trying to think which psalm it was, but I don't know or which book it was. But it's David, right?
Yeah, because David had killed and he hated himself. Maybe you don't think you deserve to go on is the direct quote from the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And so they do a close up on this huge television back of the stage. On Brittany Snow, Sophie's face, where she begins to cry.
It's like the fact that there's a zoom in on her is fucking bizarre. It's almost like there's a kiss cam at church.
It's exactly that, but it's like a savior cam.
Yeah,
yeah, it's wild.
You've been saved.
You've been saved. Snap. And smile if you've been saved. And Chrissy Metz is there, and it's not that we're supposed to believe that Sophie has had some sort of profound religious breakthrough. I think we're supposed to believe that something about what is being quoted here about hating yourself, having hurt somebody or killed somebody else, is resonating with her.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like she's been exposed to titties this week she wasn't expecting. She's at a church she didn't mean to go to. Yeah. I can see how you could cry. Sometimes you just get a bit overwhelmed. And also those
stage fright.
No, but those spaces are also like, they do that to you. There's something in the like alchemy of it. Yeah. It just makes you feel like...
Sometimes you are manipulated. Like, whenever I listen to a Coldplay song and I feel a tear, I'm like, this feels fake.
Yeah, Hamnet. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
I cried, but you fucking took it from me. And so, yeah, I think I get it. Whereas I think afterwards she like has come back to herself. She's hanging out at the like church cafe.
Yeah. And
Question mark.
Star, Abby's mom, starts speaking to her, and she...
Star, who I just have to say it now, it will come up later, but it has to be said now. It transpires in a later episode. It's spelled, or maybe in this episode, it's spelled Star with 2 R's. Maybe
That's
I
not a
saw it on the
name.
credits.
That's not a name.
Starr.
I don't think that's a name.
It's hellish. It's like, wow, you look so peaceful up there, and do you want to come to my pro-life
Also,
event?
at no point did Sophie look peaceful.
Yeah, she looked like she was
Distressed.
freaking out. Yeah. But obviously then the mean girls from school, i.e. the lesbian cabin dwellers, i.e. the Euphoria MILFs.
Yeah, we don't work, we wife.
Yeah. Come in and are like, they see her talking to Star and pull her away. They're like real bullies.
But again, Star is meant to be sympathetic, and yet here she is asking Sophie if she wants to come hang out with her at anti-abortion club.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's hard to root for her, I'm not going to lie.
It's really hard. And she mentions this when she moves over to the other table. She's like, oh, I just got invited to Project Life or something. And Margot is like, oh, it's just putting together baby care kits. It's not bombing clinics. And this is what I mean about this sort of like knowing, like the knowing republicanism, the knowing conservatism. And then the reverend's wife, is it? Because she's like, yeah, because there's no clinics left thanks to us. Yeah.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
I
And
just
the fact
came
that it's
here for
brushed
fingering.
over as well.
I just came here for fingering. But
We
it
can't
feels...
get pregnant from lesbian sex. I mean,
It's
you
true.
can try.
That's true, but it feels very tongue-in-cheek, all of this, I do think. And then Margot's husband invites Sophie and Graham over for like a better, like a getting to know you better evening at theirs, and you're like, okay,
Bring your car keys.
truly,
I'll bring the ball.
truly, it's giving that. And so they rock up, and oh no, sorry. Before this, we see the one-eyed man going to the lakeside cottage, breaking in, looking for something. Can't find it. Does see a dildo or a vibrator in the drawer.
Yeah, scandalous.
Scandalous. He eats an apple, and when he eats the apple, I was like, dude, you're leaving your DNA. Why are you wearing gloves if you're going to eat this apple?
Wait, where is he leaving the DNA?
He's wearing. I just wondered if he left the apple core. I was like, this is making me panic.
Oh, I eat the core. I eat the whole thing.
The fuck?
Yeah.
That's so Soviet.
You can't leave. You can't leave food on the table like that.
the seeds.
Yeah, like the seeds. It's all edible.
In my head,
I'll
I'm
eat
like,
a kiwi whole. We don't need to do this. But what I
what
will
the
say,
fuck? What do you mean? You eat the fur?
Yeah.
That's pretty gay. But then he pisses, right? He pisses in the bathroom in the cabin and then leaves.
And here I would like to break down the male nudity in this show because because he is one of the two, at least I've seen in 4 episodes, he's one of the 2 male asses we see, and both male asses that we see are like deeply unsexual.
Yeah, that's true. He's just going to the toilet.
And then we see his ass as he's pissing into the toilet, quite threateningly, and it's not a great ass, no offense to the actor. And then we see another male
because the
ass.
scout was working on Heated Rivalry, the best ass scout in the business. It's like they were obviously left with second tier ass.
And I will say, my ass bar is quite high after so many rewatches of Heated Rivalry. And also, I will throw Dermot Mulrooney's turkey six-pack in there. So it is very interesting to me that the female nudity is extremely hot, while the male nudity is quite grotesque.
But don't you feel like that is true of like small town? This is true in like Ireland sometimes. It's definitely true in like Yeehaw, Texas, where you see like, sorry to say it, but you see like the hottest women alive who do like fake tan, hair higher to Jesus, huge heels, like, and this is Irish women as well, like huge effort. They look fucking fabulous, and they're always dating like some thumb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And and it's like, so it feels like representation.
But in some ways, I also think it's like a power trip from the man as well. It's like I don't need to do all this.
Yeah. That's your job.
Yeah,
it's absolutely your job. I'll brush my teeth when I'm dead, and you're like, what? Sorry,
huh?
And so he pisses and he leaves it there, and then we're back to the church, and the youths are singing, and there's a youth pastor, and we know he's a youth pastor because he's wearing a beanie.
I will
say
he's
cool.
He's the scariest character.
Fucking terrifying.
It's the alarm bells. There's actually, like, honestly, default should be on the list if you're a youth pastor.
It's so illegally scary. He is so grim, and they're supposed to all be going to Mexico, and they're raising funds for that or something to do it. That's why they're doing a car wash. But more importantly, he's like, he keeps trying to check in with Abby. He keeps being like, everything okay? Anything you need to open up to me about? Anything you want to tell me about? And you're like, I wrote down, is Abby being groomed? Because we know Brittany Snow is. That's what I wrote down.
Who's Brittany Snow being groomed by?
Sophie's being groomed by Margot.
Oh, okay. Would you call that grooming?
No, I just love the fact that she's like, hey, bestie. It's like, she doesn't want to be your bestie. No, but this guy's a real creep.
Oh, he's disgusting. You know when you see a man with a surfer haircut, but he's like over 35, you're like, oh, you're hiding the fact that you're balding? That was the
And he's in like
energy.
a landlocked state.
Yeah.
Surfer hair in a landlocked state is a bad sign. It's a horrible. You know that's a predator. Sorry, no. Ugh. Yuck.
Oh,
so it is that. And
Graham thinks that it's weird that Sophie cried on stage because it's been 2 years. 2 years since what?
Oh yeah, that's also so crazy because like even though we don't know whatever trauma has befallen them, we're like 2 years, dude. He's just such a bad representation of men. He's like didn't we already have that feeling? You're like, what? Sorry, huh?
But also the contradiction of like, okay, you think I should be emotionally over it, yet I still can't drive or drink. Interesting. So which one is it?
Yes, but
are we over it or not?
I did see them laughing a little bit about her being like, no, I've actually been saved. I was like, okay, they can have a bit of a laugh together. Thank goodness. Margot's husband, Jed, still desperate to run for governor. He's like, this is my higher calling, Grim. And she again alludes to a mystery of like, yeah, but then we are going to be like under a microscope and remember what I looked like when you met me. And he's like, well, we're doing it. It's my higher calling. And she's like, enough said. If you like it, I love it. Oh, so obedient, so grim. And he's like, good girl. We get the sense that Margot relies on Jed for everything she has. And so ultimately, even against her better judgment, will do what he says. And he's running for governor, so she has to get on board.
And it's also very interesting to see a character who's clearly like a dom in her nature.
Yeah.
Having to be small.
Well, she's so pragmatic, right?
Yeah.
She's like, this is her form of pragmatism, but it is diluting her. Now, this is where, okay, so until this point, we're like, okay, it's an open marriage. Okay, he gets to fuck other women. Okay, it feels like she fancies Sophie. Okay, it felt like there was a like jealousy coming from Callie. Okay, it feels like Friday nights are for fucking the ladies. What's going on? It gets said. She goes, he's like, are there many bodies to bury? And she's like, other than all the women we watch each other fuck.
And that
outside the mega church. Whoa!
Thank God there is a car wash there because they need all the holy water they can get.
Yes, they do. Wash it off. So exciting. Margot now speeds to a trailer park.
Okay, but she's wearing a headscarf in a convertible.
In a little two-piece. Yes, she is. And wow, that ass I wrote down. A guy with a mohawk opens the trailer door and on the wall, on the wall and also on the nose, I would say, in the bedroom, it says Kyle and Mandy. So I guess Mandy is her and they grew up there together and they have their names on the wall and no one's changed that in 15 years. The set dressing can't always be good.
You're engaging with the source material.
Yeah. And he has a lot of tattoos and he's smoking and he's like, what do you want? And she's like, why is that one-eyed guy fucking following me? And he's like, lady, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she's like, fuck. And then, sorry, it's so funny. He's like, that must be a you thing. And she's like, you're no angel. And then picks up a bong and is like, it's not being
I thought it was a crack pipe.
Oh, is it a crack pipe?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know anything. But she basically picks up drug paraphernalia, a bit like I would, and is like, see, you're a baddie. Is it a bong? I don't know. A crack pipe. Okay, go. Anyway, she offers to give her brother $20,000 to not talk about her for 365 days.
And he says you'll need more money for an election year.
And she's like, that's already more. So she's obviously already paying him yearly to keep her name out his mouth.
And it's clear that she has now realized that her husband is definitely going to run for governor. So she's like on this sort of like a to-do list of doing everything she needs to do to prep for the election.
Burying the bodies.
Yes.
Absolutely. Which takes us to the next stop off. Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
You explain it because I need to cue a little thing.
Okay, so she calls Callie and is like, who's so hot, by the way, so hot. And she calls and is like, I'm coming over. She comes over and she walks into Callie's house and they kiss.
Okay, and I
Whoa. I
would
think
like
it's
to
a
say
really hot kiss.
it's very clearly to me a reference to a viral porn video.
Is it?
I
God, I
think
don't
they're
watch porn. Tell me
literally
everything.
recreating this.
Sorry, what is that? Why is there an incredibly tall woman picking up a tiny woman?
And pressing her to the wall.
What?
It literally is like a recreation of this viral
Why?
screenshot.
Is that sexy to people?
Well, yeah, I guess the fetish is the height difference is that one's a really big one and one's a really small one.
Why does she have such athletic shoes on?
Wait, to make her even shorter because she can't wear a heel, and the tall one is wearing.
I
heels.
hate that.
Are you familiar with this?
No.
Oh, it's a legendary porn screenshot.
That's
and
crazy. I
think
hate that so much.
they're-
Put that on the Instagram though. That's so funny.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. Elise.
Wow, that's made me feel really yuck because that does not do justice to how hot the kiss is. The kiss is so fucking hot. I would argue Callie and Margot have the most chemistry in terms of and when they kiss.
Really?
We'll get to
I
it.
find Callie's, I find her desperation quite off-putting. She's so like, please, please, please.
Oh no,
please."
she's gagging for sure, but I do.
And it's like, play it cool, girl.
But I also feel like she's had sex with a woman and that makes her hotter to me. So far that's how I'm feeling at least. And so they kiss and then she's like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, Margot says.
Oh, they say I love you to each other.
You know, I love you, right? But we can't keep doing this because Jed is running for governor. And I love when she's trying to explain to Callie why, it's going to be difficult. And it's like, she basically says, like, I'm not Laura Bush. And Callie's like, Laura Bush killed someone, Margot. You're already having sex with a woman. And this is what I mean about the tongue-in-cheek Republicanism. I just love it.
I did have to Google that. Laura Bush did kill someone.
But then Callie's like, you're the only person who ever makes me feel alive.
Yeah, so it's very clear that Callie is like fully in love with Margot. And in that moment, I couldn't tell whether Margot was as well. But then,
well, because she's like, you're my heart, and we can never be together. I'm still your friend, and I need you to be mine. And she's like acting like it's devastating, and they both like kind of look heartbroken. And she walks out of the house, and you think, fuck, oh, okay, she's actually really in love with that woman. And then she turns away from her to walk to her car. And does a huge, almost relieved smile.
yeah.
And you're like, what?
Which begs the question. I think with Callie, it was probably like she thought she was straight. And then she hooked up with Margot. And it's like, now I feel like maybe even fully gay.
She's imprinted. She's
Yeah,
imprinted, fully imprinted on her. She's like, you're my owner now. And I'm yours. It's too much. It's
also
too
so
much.
interesting because clearly in her relationship with her husband, like Callie is like a ball buster.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that this ball buster is such a little sub for Margot.
Such a simp. It's crazy. And then we got to Sophie they're getting ready to go to this like hang at Margot and Jed's house. And so her husband's Graham's being so desperate and gagging for it. And so she's just like, dude, stop trying so hard for your boss. Like, just relax. And she's like, but I am going to shave my legs. And we're like, oh, okay. She knows what's up.
Who's she shaving her legs for? Can I ask you, as a queer woman, what do you think are Margot and Sophie's sexualities?
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking.
Diagnose them.
Very hard to say early doors.
Okay.
Very hard to say early doors.
Because we're both 4 episodes in right now.
But to me, they're both giving by.
Okay.
And you?
Oof. That's a very good question.
But if one of them's more likely to be like gay, I would say it's Margot.
Really?
Because she's so pragmatic about the fucking she does with men. Like in her relationships with men all seem pragmatic and like serving something else. So, like achieving safety, achieving wealth. Whereas like she's only really fucking women for the joy of it.
For me, I feel like Sophie feels gayer just because like
Sophie does feel quite gay.
all the Graham sex that she has is so informed by her attraction to Margot. Like she almost can't get herself to fuck Graham if it's not about Margot.
True. Oh my god, good point. But that might just be that Graham sucks and Margot's so hot.
That's true. That's fair. Then we go to the Reverend's house.
Yes. And by the way, having talked about how wonderful his wife is on the altar or stage, the Reverend seems to fucking hate Jill, his wife.
Big time.
And she's force feeding her baby boy protein.
and then she's force feeding him
because he has a
some new
basketball
girl.
scholarship.
Yeah,
something.
to Baylor.
Oh yeah, and she's talking about Mrs. Wayne's daughter, and you would look so cute. And the Reverend's like, let him eat his chicken.
And then she kisses her own son on the lips.
Worse than that, she tricks him into kissing her on the lips. She puts her little finger to her cheek as in like give mama a kiss, and then he comes in and she turns and kisses him on the mouth.
I think that's sexual harassment.
If your boss did that, you're going to HR.
100%.
It's so grim. And the second the sun goes, the Reverend leaves too and is like, the chicken is dry.
Which is, I mean, from coming from a reverend, that's a slur.
I agree, and we're all just like, well, girl, same. We're all dry now too. Why do we have to see this family? They go to the boss's house and Sophie looks great, and fucking Graham is just like basically sucking Jed's dick while he tells a story about fishing.
Yeah, and he's like really mean about Sophie. He says like that she was like a wild child and a party girl, and that they met when he was a grad student at Harvard and Sophie was a waitress. And he's just like really sort of belittling of her.
Jed mocks Graham though. He's quite like, oh, we wouldn't have known you went to Harvard because you barely fucking mentioned it.
Yeah. And Jed calls him out on being mean to Sophie, which I thought was really hot.
Yeah, it was so hot when Graham's like, why do we even need a cleaning lady if she's home all day? And he's like, oh, she might be too busy pulling your foot out of your mouth.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, Jed.
That's
okay,
hot.
Dermot.
That was hot.
Okay, fine.
That's hot.
And then Margot offers Graham a strategic tour of the house. And Jed offers Sophie a glass of $25,000 whiskey.
Is that even possible?
Is that even possible? And it looks like cranberry juice, which is my other issue. But maybe I just couldn't believe. I was like, what do you mean $25K a bottle? And thankfully so is she. She's like, that's fucking stupid.
She does try it though, even though her husband's right there and she's not allowed to drink.
And we're not sure. I don't think she is an alcoholic because when she drinks, it doesn't then spiral her into drinking loads more or forever. Every single day, you know?
I think, she just has a controlling husband.
Yeah, I agree. And she just wants to occasionally have some fun. Is it possible to get a $25K bottle of whiskey? Are you joking? It is?
50 years aged, 50-year Scotch whiskey.
50-year aged Scotch whiskey.
Ben Rack.
Yeah, sure.
Expensive and older Scotch is coming to America. And it's $25,000 a bottle.
25 grand a bottle for
That,
Scotch.
I mean, I'm going to quote Sophie when I say that's stupid. That's a down payment on a house.
It's crazy. And then Margot and Graham return when they're flirting and he has his hand on her thigh and she spills the whiskey.
Yeah.
Which, oh my God, I would be losing my fucking shit.
That's a lot of money.
It's crazy.
And she didn't even play his six-packs like a piano.
It's wild. And then Margot, they're very clever. They're a good double act, aren't they? Like
Jetta and Margot?
Yeah, when she's like, ooh, I hope you weren't offended by him getting all too friendly when they go to the bathroom to clean their dress.
Because it's clearly like that, the whole script for that, they've done this before.
100%.
They've picked up,
Yes,
they've
she takes the husband on the tour.
Yeah.
He offers the wife a drink.
Yeah.
It's wild. And then she's like, oh no, Sophie says, I'm actually really flattered. Do you guys have an open marriage? And Margot says, open marriages are for liberals. Yes.
So funny.
Open marriages are for liberals is amazing. And then the rules, it turns out, are that she doesn't sleep with other men, but if we see a girl we like, we go for it.
Yes.
Sexy.
Which is like still not fully true, just because like when he was in the hot tub with the two women, Margot wasn't part of that, but that seemed okay.
And she seems to be fucking Callie, and that's separate to...
And she seems to be fucking Brad, too, so...
Oh, yeah, she's not but that's a boy.
But she's not supposed to fuck a boy.
Yeah, well, no, she's not supposed to fuck other men, but... Are teenagers allowed? Yuck. What I don't... Yeah, so then... This whole, like, taking your virginity / like... mean boy coercion storyline is ongoing, where Brad tells his mom that he's going to stay with his friend because she gets jealous of his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
He actually takes Abby to the boat. They have sex.
But she wants to make it special, so she brought lingerie.
And fairy lights. Oh.
I mean, yeah, the teen storyline I'm not fully invested in.
No.
What I will say is when Margot tells Sophie about the arrangement, Sophie is textbook shy freak. Like, there's no judgment.
Yeah, she's like,
not
okay.
even surprised. She's just kind of like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yep. Totally.
And I like that. I like that she's not like a pearl clutching sort of prude.
No, she's just like, you can see she's just assessing whether or not she would also be willing to fuck Jed to fuck Margot.
And I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. What's quite funny is the dissection that happens between Jed and Margot after their hang with this couple, where he's like, Jesus, that guy likes to talk. And you're like, oh, finally a man saying what we're all thinking. And Margot's like, it seems like you were hitting on Sophie, but I thought we were burying the bodies and behaving politely while you run for governor. And he's basically like, we just have to be smart. It's just about discretion. And we're not joining the priesthood. And then she is wearing yet again another incredibly high-legged black thong. And it's so hot and to be the thong.
Yeah, you're looking at that thing, you're like, are you wearing that thing backwards? Because it is slicing that puss in half.
It's true. It's true.
Also very interesting that Margot mentions to Jed that she broke up with Callie, and then and he's like, oh, well, I thought that you wanted to break that off for ages.
Yes, you wanted
so
to end it up for ages. That she's crazy. Yes, that's so true. So she does talk to him about her Callie thing then.
Yeah.
She must be like, oh, my girlfriend's being crazy. Interesting. What a modern marriage.
Very progressive.
What a modern marriage for these conservatives.
Oh, and we do see good crack, it says. So I'm assuming that's the black thong.
It was the black thong. It's such good crack. Take it from me, lads. That is some good crack. Margot goes to the cottage in a white tank with no bra and tiny, tiny denim shorts. And that's not the point of the scene, but I just wanted to let that hang there.
Unlike her breasts that sit very high and pretty.
Yeah. And cowboy boots. Oh my God.
Yeehaw.
She goes to the loo. She sees someone has pissed in it and this fucking spooks her. Obviously, she's checking if they've been burgled. She's calling to see if there were workmen there. She's like, Brad, I need to see you, because she wants to know if she assumes that it might have been him going there without her. And he's
I do love the idea of a piss as a threat.
And then one of the most horrendous things happens, because he has to leave Abby in the boat or whatever, because he's like, he jumps when Margot says how high, and she's like, I could do my GED wherever you go to university, and he clearly just wanted to have sex with her and doesn't want to be with her ever again, or in the future. And so he goes, but the conversation is so grim between Margot and Brad. Even like young boys have so much power over her. It's so annoying because her position is so precarious. We don't know why, but she obviously needs to like retain this position of like safety and wealth, because she's like, my husband's running for governor, I can't keep sleeping with you. And he's like, I'm gonna tell everyone you're a whore, basically. And then she's like, but I meant only that we have to keep it secret. And then she fucks him because she's gonna coerce too. And I just hate all these men.
It was bleak. It was
really bleak.
Just to add a little levity to this, I will say that the excuse Brad gives Abby is that he's going to go coach the twins, which are the stepchildren of Margot.
Not Margot's tits.
But obviously the innuendo, the double entendre is undeniable.
It's so
I wouldn't
fun.
mind coaching the twins. I'd put in my time on the court, so to speak.
By the way, Sophie is at home while this is happening, opening a box called... Did you see this? She takes out a big brown moving box and it's labeled papers/stuff. Mysterious. Inside,
nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Inside there's a CPS, Child Protection Services form
ominous,
that she
ominous.
Immediately closes the box. And then sees that Margot has tagged her, this is so teenage, tagged her in a photo on Instagram, labeling them besties. And Sophie thinks about that and the body shots. And in her lady boxers, which makes me think gay, her white lady boxers, she gets off to pictures of Margot.
That was pretty sexy.
Incredibly hot. Brittany Snow wanking in little white boxers. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know who else sees the Instagram?
Cut to the most lesbian cutaway.
Oh.
Cut to Callie weeping at the same photo.
They're both wet in different ways.
Yeah. I wrote down, at least she has a wet face. Sophie then sees a post-it note from her fucking husband Graham about how she has to do errands for the day. And she goes outside she takes off the cover from his vintage BMW.
It's a good car.
She can drive shift now. And with those big Brittany Snow eyes, she gets in the car and she drives off to the farmer's market.
And then she buys herself a pair of cowboy frickin' boots.
Yep, she sees the Cavendish boot barn.
She's in Texas now. She's a Texas girl.
Yeehaw. And I think the getting the cowboy boots is like, and the driving is like this sort of like libertarian individualism reportrayed as like sexy independence of her doing whatever the fuck she wants.
And I think if we're kind of gonna zoom in on the political message of the show and zoom out on what is happening, it shows you how tempting libertarianism can be. It shows you how tempting individualism can be. Like, look at these people doing what they want, having fun.
And also it's interesting, right? Because like I think it plays quite interestingly on our supposition about conservatives is that they are repressed and not doing a lot of the things they would want to be doing because of religious rules and mores. And actually they think we don't do any, like liberals don't do what they want because they're bound by the same sort of rigidity and policing of I suppose like woke mores. And
Absolutely.
so both are judging the other for
Big prudes.
Yeah. And so she gets in her car and she goes to the lake house because she wants to see Margot?
Because she, a one-eyed guy found her.
Oh my god, huge point.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay,
yeah.
so she's shopping, she's having a nice time, she's got her cowboy boots, and then out of nowhere comes one-eyed guy and he knocks on her window when she gets in her car and he's like, I want to ask you about your friends. And she's like, I'm not going to fucking tell you anything.
And she assumes that he's like a private investigator for the Democrats. It's a campaign thing. And he's like, those people aren't who you think they are.
Yeah, they're not your friends. You don't have no idea what they're capable of. Dun, dun, dun.
So
What
what
does
is
mean?
it?
What are they capable of?
Is it swinging?
It feels like it's swinging. And it feels like it's tempting a little blonde woman to cheat on her husband. That's what they're capable of. And she tries to ring Margot to tell her, but that's right. But she doesn't have any reception because she's at the lake house. So she drives to the lake house.
Again, lesbian as hell. And you know what she sees through a window? Describe to me exactly the pose that she sees Brad eating Margot in.
Okay, so Brad is on his knees on the floor while Margot sits in an armchair, legs akimbo.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's very Paris Hilton sex video. She's laying back enjoying herself. I shouldn't use that reference. It's a terrible thing that was released against her consent. So let's just go back. She's sitting in an armchair. She has her legs spread. Brad is on his knees between her legs, and Sophie sees her through the window.
I would say the most crucial
and lingers.
thing, and again, maybe male gaze accusations here, is that the fact that she hasn't taken off her white tank top, it is just sitting exactly above her breasts, framing.
I didn't clock that.
Where it's like, how can you be wearing clothes in a nude way?
That's so funny. Yes. Okay, fair enough. I can see how that could happen. They could get pushed up by him trying to go for the tits. I can see that.
Yeah.
Let's get those twins some air. And you can just basically see the back of Brad's head, but Sophie looks in and like lingers and obviously enjoys what she's watching. A little shy freak, loves what she sees. And Margot catches her eye.
And she keeps looking.
Yeah, and it's like a mirroring of when Brad was wanking while his girlfriend prayed and they caught eyes, but also...
Who's on his knees praying now? Huh?
Yeah, hey-oh, worshipping. And there is sort of like a real sense that they're both enjoying looking at each other while this happens. And then eventually Sophie is like, and pulls away.
And that's when I wrote down my thesis, which is shy freak. That was the most shy freak she ever was.
I wrote down Margot sees her and puts on a show for a bit. Sophie looks turned on. Are her tits real? 'Cause wow. And the interesting thing about Margot is that she just seems immediately sure it'll be fine when she's walked in on or walks in on anyone having sex. To me, that is the confidence of a hot woman. To be like, yes, they saw me fucking someone, but lucky them. Yes, I walked in on them having sex, but lucky them. It's never like, oh no, this is going to be awkward. It's always like,
you're welcome.
And hasn't that made their freaking day? And you're like, what? But ooh la la, cliffhanger. What a way to end the episode. J'adore. This is Dallas with lesbians, is what I wrote down at this point, and I'm freaking loving it. At every point during the show, I was waiting for Connie Britton to show up. I know she's not in it, but for some reason I was like, Connie Britton will be along at any moment, surely. She's never there, but I wish she were. And I've written down, it's funny how it paints Republicans as sort of ironically playing the part of self-serving, but also, like, they're sort of ironic, they're sort of self-serving, they're also kind of keeping up with the Joneses. But this repeated mantra of they're just doing what they want, which like liberals just can't do, is so interesting. Like as if liberals are more at the behest of their morality than these religious people. And so it kind of means that when Brittany buys her boots, she's more free. It's very interesting to me.
I would like to deep dive into that.
Please.
But before we do, just a couple of things that also happened in the episode right before the ending is Kelly's at target practice.
Oh, my bad.
No. But it's not. I mean, it's not sexy, so we don't really care. I mean, I don't know. Kelly should.
She looks pretty good.
Maybe it is. And then she does ask her husband whether he completed like the background check on Sophie, because obviously she's still obsessed with that, which is very interesting. And also I think sort of the thing that you touched upon, where it's clear that Margot's being coerced into sex with Brad, but she's like trying to spin it as if she's in control, but really she isn't. And like one of the most heartbreaking things she says is like, she's like, there can't be no evidence, so I'm gonna have to swallow. And it's like, oh, you're trying to sell this as like control and fun, when in reality you're backed into a corner and it fucking sucks, and he sucks.
I hate Brad so much. Sorry, you're dead right. I actually skipped over a very important part, because the thing that is true also of the target practice with Callie is that she goes into her husband. So the target practice is at the sheriff's station, and she walks into her husband's office and sees a very close encounter between him and this Hansy Jr. Chip. Is this a town full of lavender marriages? What is going on? Chip goes.
We just Chip spinoff. Chip spinoff now.
Chip reappears. Don't worry. Chip goes, and I'm like, he's gay. Then she wants the goss on Sophie, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, you've been dying for it, aren't you? It's so juicy. It's so juicy. They say to each other.
Lavender marriage.
And I was like, he's gay. He's a homosexual man. They're both gay people. What do you... They're like...
I think she's the most openly queer presenting to me.
Yeah, and he's basically like, hey girl, have I got some gas for you? And I was like, sorry, huh? What? Making Jed look butch. I was like, sorry, what? Anyway, also her husband is so big and strong and sexy. More on that in the future. Anyway, I just, cliffhanger, very exciting. I just, the dance between how much these women are following their sexual desires and how much they, certainly the Margot characters and the Callie character and the Jill, have to do because of what society expects of them, is fascinating, and I'm really enjoying it.
And it's, God, there's so many questions about it, because it's also like, are you doing it because you want to do it? Would it be as exciting and fun for you if it wasn't forbidden? Is the fact that you are being naughty and going behind someone's back, is it the thing that is like 90% of why it's fun? There's so many questions to that.
Is your sexual appeal the only place you get any actual confidence boost or any worth?
That's a very good question. I will also say it's really interesting how we see the Reverend's wife. What's her name? She's got a name. Jill, sure. Jill in this, like, I guess, like, I'm assuming monogamous, sexless marriage.
Yeah.
And then we see Margot in this, like, open, crazy, sort of very adventurous marriage. But both of them are sort of trapped
by their husband's whims.
Exactly.
100%.
So it's like you could be trapped if you're fucking anyone you want, and you could be trapped if you're not fucking anyone at all, because they're all sort of brands of subservience. Yeah,
subservience specifically to the public-facing image of their husbands.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Like the fact that they're like reverend's wife, sheriff's wife, potential governor's wife.
Yeah. That's a really, really good point.
And some fucking architect. Fascinating. Well, okay. Did you want to watch Ep 3 at the end? Were you like, yes, hell yes, bring on episode 3?
At this point, if I'm being completely honest, I was like, this was meant to be a lesbian sex show. I need some lesbian sex.
Same.
Just because I've seen like sex between a man and a woman. I've seen a man jerk off next to a woman. I've seen two women kiss.
Yeah.
Gracias. But I think it's time. It's time.
I completely hear that. That's fair.
And it's like, you've shown me a male ass. I'm not mad.
No, I think that's so fair. I think I was in exactly the same space. I was like, okay, good cliffhanger. I do want to know what it says, obviously, in the sealed file. I want that gay husband to spill those gay beans, but I'm also like, when will the lesbian sex be happening, please?
But then is it more authentic because of the yearning, because of the masturbating to an Instagram picture?
I thought that
Because of
was
a
so
bestie and a
good.
bestie?
Yeah, I thought that was so good and so well done.
And also, I'd say in the breakup scene, the way that they were like saying "I love you" and like how Kelly was like, "You've made me feel alive," they are significantly more like open and articulate about just how gay this is. Like, it wasn't the sort of thing where we were talking about earlier, where they were like, "Oh, it doesn't count. It doesn't count." It's like, to Kelly, it fucking counts.
It fucking counts. They just know they can't do it because they in order to maintain the life that they want.
But it's not two gals having fun. Like, Kelly is losing sleep over this shit.
100%. Horniest you felt in this episode, Olga?
Horniest I felt in this episode.
For me, it was Black Thong. Sorry to
Good
say
crack, good crack indeed.
it was a bit of good crack.
It felt like there was like a butterfly maybe there or something like that.
Yeah, there was something happening. It was very Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
It was giving Victoria for sure. I also did like the wanking scene.
That was sexy.
And the kiss was good.
I think horniest scene is the linger. It's the linger.
Oh, the staring through the
It's gotta
window.
be the linger.
Do you know what? Lot to be grateful for this episode. Lot to be grateful for. Unforgettable line of dialogue.
We brushed over this, but at some point, I'm pretty sure it's Sophie says, "I love fish. I treat your girl real nice." Yes, I'm fairly sure. Basically, I think when they're in the church parking lot waiting for the car wash, I think it's Sophie who says, "I love fish." And I loved that.
Oh, yes, because, sorry, we forgot to mention that Jamie, who's the teammate, I don't care about the teens, who's the teammate of Brad, is washing their car and is like, keeps in like making innuendo about how he'll look after the girl real nice, but it's not the car, it's Graham's wife Sophie he wants to fuck, and he's not subtle about it.
But yeah, at some point I'm pretty sure Sophie says, "I love fish," and I loved that.
That's so funny. For me, the one that went oof was when Margot is like, "Well, if you like it, I love it." Like, it just felt like, Jesus Christ, that really is what they have to be like, isn't it? They just have to be like, well, the person in charge says that's what's happening, and this person in charge is my husband, so fine.
Especially with a person to who power is as important as it is to Margot.
Yeah, and also, like, when it comes to, like, a person who's in an open marriage, you're like, oh, how much of that does he just decide as well?
And in their marriage, I believe that she is into it also.
Yeah, no, to be fair, true.
That being said, when she walks away from the "I love you" with Callie, and she, like, sighs in relief, it did make me obviously wonder, thinking, like, how much of this is she faking? Is she faking it with Sophie as well?
Yeah, it's very hard. It's interesting. It's hard to know what her motives are. I completely agree. I did go like, what is her reasoning for doing what she's doing?
Because we know
she's
Sophie's
such an intriguing character.
Super into it, but we don't actually know if Margot's doing it as some sort of chess move.
It's giving Ilya. What's the long game?
What is your WTF moment of this episode, please?
Sophie looking through the window, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
You were surprised by that?
I think by the way in which Margot was like, oh, if anything, totally fine that she's saying this. Even though, like, she had told her she doesn't get with men, even though, like, that is the Reverend's son, the fact that, like, it's a younger guy.
Yeah.
The fact that I thought she wanted to make something happen with Sophie, but she just has that hot girl confidence of, like, well, you've seen my tits, so, like, surely this is fine.
And also, I think Sophie didn't judge her, even though it was like an 18-year-old boy, Reverend's son.
What about you?
And I think the lack of judgment is hot. I don't think fucking a teenager is hot. I think it's a crime and you shouldn't be doing it.
They're very clear that he's 18, though.
Yeah, they make that abundantly clear.
They make that endlessly clear.
My WTF moment is mom kissing son on the lips.
Yeah!
I just can't. Oh, God.
Gay giveaways for me this episode are finding your husband in an office ever with a man called Chip.
I'll say mine is right before that is being so jealous of your girlfriend's new girlfriend that you have to go shoot a gun about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever shot a gun?
No, ma'am.
Really?
No. What do you mean, really? Really? Yeah, really. Why?
I guess you're wearing a lot of camo right now,
That's
so I'm finding that hard to believe.
By the way, when we said we would dress up for this, and I was like, I came in and Olga was in jeans, I was like, I could have brought you some some camo. And she was like, why do you have 2 pairs of camo trousers? Sorry for shouting into the mic, but why do you have 2 pairs of camo? And I was like, wow, why do I have 2? I guess just gay.
Where are you trying to blend in,
We're like
girl?
in the city. Like, why? I truly, the like lesbian equivalent of straight moms in Chelsea driving Jeeps is lesbians having camo for question mark acne. Like, why?
I
don't
guess
know
you're
why.
blending in with the other lesbians.
Sometimes I just don't want them to see me. Oh, I just want a weekend off. My God. Olga, have you shot a gun? I'm assuming from your complete shock that I haven't done that you have.
No comment.
American accent, Russian born. I'm guessing yes.
Yeah. No, I have. I just don't remember where, but I definitely have.
What do you mean you don't remember?
What I will say,
That's such a spy thing to say. Yeah, I might have. I don't really remember where. My job keeps me busy. Anyway.
no, I think I did. I think I did like the sort of the
Clay pigeons?
clay pigeons. I have, and I think that was in Russia, and I think I was a little kid. But then I do remember going to Nashville with my friend John. Shout out Nashville. Shout out John. And he was like, "Wouldn't it be funny if we go to a shooting range or a driving range? Is that what they call them? They call them driving
I
ranges.
thought driving
don't they?
ranges is for golf. Shooting ranges is for shooting.
Never mind. Okay, driving doesn't make sense for golf or shooting. So you know what? Take a hard look at yourself.
No, because a
But-
driver is a type of golf stick.
Okay, and that's
Club, thank you.
and that's why you're gayer than me.
Golf stick. That's how I really know about sports. Golf stick.
Okay, so golf really, sorry, unrelated, but golf really uses a lot of words that mean other words. A club,
Yeah.
a driving range.
Yeah.
Come on, get your own words. It's very confusing. So I went to a shooting range in Nashville, Tennessee with my friend John, and I remember like hee hee ha ha getting there. Second I walked in, I was like, I need to leave immediately. I'm about to have a panic attack. Because there was a young dad with a baby like Bjorn on him looking at bullets, and I was like, I absolutely actually cannot be here.
No.
So I got in an Uber, shout out Uber, and then I immediately
fair.
got in.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised when you asked me if I'd ever shot a gun, and were surprised I said no, because like it really holds zero appeal to me, and I find it like really repugnant and scary.
It is.
I don't like it. I was an incredibly nervous first time learner to drive in my 30s. And the whole time, so much of my fear was around like feeling like I was driving a weapon that could kill someone. Like the idea that I would be picking up a gun. No. Nope. No thanks. But hunting wives. We've had this in from Jackie. I kept calling it, yes, Jackie. Jackie has said, I kept calling it the secret lives of hunting wives before I realized I was different. I was cross-pollinating 2 very different shows. Well, you say that, Jackie, but honestly, I thought Secret Lives of Mormon Wives would be this. I thought because there was that like swinging scandal. So you tune in and you're like, let's go, girls. And then they're all just like, nope, never mind. It wasn't me. Yuck. And you're like, huh? So I really understand that both could be both.
Yeah. And it's definitely, I haven't seen the Mormon Wives one, but I understand it's speaking to the same sort of bored housewife aspect.
100%. And the same aesthetic, the same beauty standards, the same policing of behavior. The same, if anybody wore sandals, it would be commented on.
And it's like, if I'm not going to have a day job, I'm going to finger my girlfriends.
Obviously, and there's a rotating hierarchy in that too, where you're like, yeah.
It's like, imagine a popularity contest from high school, but like add some sex into it.
And add some sex.
Yeah.
I wish they would have added some sex in. So Jenny says, The Hunting Wives is bananas. Can't wait for your take. Yay. And ITVX for the folks in the UK. Yes, that's where we're watching it. Jurassic Peterson says, unhinged intro to Margot, because sure you have to take off your whole dress to put toilet paper in your pants. Thank you. Not that I'm actually complaining. Malin Akerman is a long time crush. Same girl or guy. Same.
She's got huge bisexual energy as an actress as well, like as a person.
Yeah, and like similar to, it's crazy that like her fame also started around the 90s because, good God, Dermot Mulroney's doing well to be dating her in this show, but married her in the show. God, she's so hot. And that's the truth. Love those comments, and I hope you're watching along with us. How exciting. Thanks so much for listening to Tonsil Hockey. We'll be back next Thursday.
In the meantime, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at Tonsil Hockey Podcast.
We also have a Patreon where we have a book club and we're covering everything from Heated Rivalry still. Don't you worry. We're doing fanfic. We're doing the long game at the moment. And you can email us all of your thoughts on Heated Rivalry, on the Hunting Wives. We'd love some questions on the Hunting Wives at tonsilhockeypodcast@gmail.com. Bye.